Kraken versus Western Australia, part 2. Let's talk about that. Let's get cracking. Good moto morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Kraken's Garage. I'm your host, Eric, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about the last addition to the Western Australia trip, and this will wrap up Australia altogether. It has been a challenge to get all in film, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're wrapping up the Western Australia moto meetup, and of course, back at the hotel, David met us for dinner along with Brian Brontarla as well as Alan, and we had a nice dinner and drinks there at the hotel, and then the next morning we had a very long drive to get on to Brian's home. Now, Brian is a viewer that kind of resonated with my channel a long time ago. He calls me his brother from another mother. I guess some of my content resonates with his mindset at this point in his life. One video in particular I think resonated with him the most. That was The Last Good Anything. If you have any interest in seeing that one, I'll have it posted right up here. So Brian drove us 3 to 4 hours in his direction out to the dairy farm where we met his lovely wife Jenny for the very first time. Now folks, these people again have never met Mrs. Kraken and I. They have opened up their home. He has taken time off from work, come pick us up and drive us to his home to stay in his home, as well as take us around to see the sights in his area. That is over and above the call of duty. We'll talk more about that at the end of this video. This picture is Brian's New Holland tractor. I had sent him some swag, and he also won one of my t-shirt contests. He put the magnet on his tractor on the front end loader, so I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that I would share that with you. This farm you're looking at has been in their family for generations. Well, my golly, there's so many roads that around their surrounding farm that their last name is in the name of the roads. So clearly this family has laid down deep roots in this area. Here's a great view of their beautiful estate. On a side note, I was having coffee in the backyard and just taking in the scenery. It was just amazing. Weather couldn't have been any better. And a kingfisher smashed into the window and knocked himself out. So I walked over there and picked him up off the ground. He was knocked out cold, and I set him on the grass and kind of kept an eye on him to see if he would recover. By the sound of the thunder when he smacked the glass, I didn't expect much, but he did. He woke back up. So I gently gave him a minute to recuperate, then gently picked him up and put him on a low-hanging tree branch and went and got Brian. And Brian came out and looked, and as luck would have it, this kingfisher got up and flew away, so that was a win. First stop, we visited a park that was just adorned with so many beautiful, amazing flowers. I'll share a few pictures here and let the pictures tell the story of this particular park. Stopped at Bunbury Harley-Davidson in, of course, Bunbury. I picked up some poker chips for my mates back home. Next, we stopped in a coffee shop, and it's either pronounced Benice or Benesi Osterland. Again, I keep raving about their coffee. It was amazing, but it was very nice of Brian and Jenny to take breaks for a coffee break or bathroom break, as we spent a lot of hours in the car going to each area that we were visiting. Next stop, Busselton. In the previous video, I'll have it linked up here as well, I also mentioned about the 19th century wood pier. That's very long. It stretches nearly 2 meters to the underwater observatory, which overlooks a coral reef. It's quite fascinating. We did make it up to the pier, but we didn't walk all the way down the pier. That was kind of an epic walk to make that happen, and we were short on time. Just to the northeast of the city is the towering 𝕉𝕗 trees, or the 𝕉𝕗 Forest National Park. They're home to 2 species of possum. Little did I know that Western Australia has some amazing hardwood forests out in their area or neck of the woods that are worth a visit. I wish we had more time to check out some more things on this side of the country. So if you make it out to Western Australia, be sure to check out the Great Southern's spectacular forests. Next stop, 𝕒𝕣𝕒𝕒𝕒. 𝕒𝕣𝕒𝕒𝕒 was activated in 1904, so right around the turn of the century. It's a 20-meter high cylindrical tower built out of limestone, which uses its original first order Fresnel lens made by the Chance brothers. Short story about this lens. Anybody that's a watchkeeper, you are destined to solitude, and especially back in the early 1900s. People that man the lighthouses here in the US as well, you didn't see people for months at a time. You pretty much go stir crazy. Well, the lighthouse keeper did go stir crazy, and he wound up beating on the lens with a wrench to try and take it out of commission. He was so annoyed with being isolated out there. You could see the chips on the lens. The lens is still in use to this day. Incredible. The views were breathtaking. I'll let the pictures tell the story. We were treated by the breaching of a few humpback whales, and that was amazing to see. I did my best to get some pictures with what camera gear I had. Some local critters, as we were making our way out, I thought I would share. And here's some more of the local color I hope you enjoy. Next stop, Penguin Island. Penguin Island is a 12.5 hectare island off the coast of Perth. It is home to a colony of 300 little penguins, the largest population of birds in Western Australia. To put that in terms that's a little more digestible, 1 acre is roughly the size of a football field for us here in the US. And 1 hectare is 2.47 acres. So about 2.5 times the size of what we call an acre here in the States. No penguins were there to be seen that day, and that's unfortunate, but apparently all 300 of them go out to feed on fish at certain times of the day, and unfortunately this was one of those times of the day. That said, the whole island was covered in pelicans and seagulls. They had wood walkways to traverse the entire island, some exhibits there to kind of give you a museum type theme atmosphere when you were visiting. After we enjoyed Penguin Island, it was time to start heading and trending towards the airport as our trip was rapidly coming to an end. Brian and Jenny took us to this beautiful lookout that overlooked Perth. And this picture I took is just amazing. Amazing view of this wonderful, wonderful city that Alan calls the Big Smoke. We settled in on a pub right outside of the airport. We had a little bit of time to kill for something cold to drink and a light bite to eat before we get hammered with airplane food for the next 36 hours home. In this next picture, as I sit here at the airport, my heart is heavy, and what I mean by that is I met so many wonderful, wonderful people. We met so many wonderful, wonderful people on this journey, and it's a half a planet away. And it's most likely I will never get to see these people again in my life, and that weighs heavy on my heart. I made a lot of connections and best friends as we made our way across the country in 3 different areas of this great big country of Australia and the beauty that it has to offer. I hope over this series on Australia I represented your country appropriately. I adore it. I loved everything we got to see, and every interaction with every individual there couldn't have gone better. I am just flabbergasted. In my life, I've been brought up that you pay for everything you get in life. You go out and earn it and pay for it yourself. So much of this trip, Brian and Jenny, Leanne and Gary, Alan, these people picked up so many tabs for us along the way. I don't know how to repay these people, and I did my best when we were there to represent America as a tourist and be appropriate to handle these situations as best I can. I'm not one to tax people. So it is with a heavy heart that I leave your beautiful country, and thank you for allowing us to come visit. In this closing outro, you don't have to watch it, but I'm gonna tax you with 2 minutes of just all the amazing people I met on this journey. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for joining me today. Peace.